Hi, this is session 6, MySQL Storage Engines. My name is Ram. This can be considered for MariaDB, MySQL and Percona because they share the same source code. These are all common sessions for all the three RDBMSs. We are on session 6. Objective of this session is MySQL Storage Engines and prerequisites if you want to get one particular storage engine in your installation. Row storage format, the merge engine, examples of merge engine, and then other storage engines. MySQL storage engines. A storage engine can be thought of as a file system. The way file systems are used for operating system, the implication, the usage is similar in MySQL for storage engine, because the file system handles the storage on the disk and storage engine handles the storage of tables in the file system. Storage engines differ in the way they use locking to manage query contention, or tables they provide whether they are transactional or non-transactional. These engine properties have implications for query processing, performance, concurrency, and deadlock prevention. When you create a table, you can choose what storage engine to use. For example, create table T, I as integer, engine is InnoDB, which is default. Engine is MyIGEM, which is not default. Without engine, the default engine given by this system variable storage underscore engine system variable will be used. To check storage engine for a given table, you can use show create table or show table status statement. Like show create a table city, this is in World database. If you already have, this is the open source database available in MySQL, MariaDB Community Edition. So you can download it from official MySQL website, you can import it, and all these statements, all these examples used until and unless specified in this course will be used from World database. Show table status like country language. The /g put the data in vertical format rather than horizontal, that gives you readability. So these two tables, these two queries can give you the storage engine used by a table. Also, this virtual database information schema information schema database, the tables table in this database also have the information about the storage engine used by the table. Information underscore schema is not there on the physical. It is not there on the database on the disk. It is only a virtual database. It is always there in the memory. And you can get metadata about all the tables and everything from this database. We are going to use, and we have a dedicated session on getting information about objects. Select table name, engine from information schema dot tables, where table schema, which is actually represent the word database, is world. So the way you use table after creating it, engine independent. And this is the output which I demonstrated, the query which I used in my system to take the screenshot of that query, and I got this output. City is InnoDB. By default, all these tables are InnoDB tables now. Earlier, they were MyIGEM tables. Prerequisites for a storage engine to be available in MySQL. It must be compiled into the server and enabled. Each storage engine is a software module that is compiled into the server. Some storage engines are always available, such as InnoDB, MyIGEM, Merge, and Memory. Support for optional storage engine typically can be selected when MySQL is configured and built for the first time from the source code. To reduce memory use, don't configure unneeded storage engines into the server. To see what all storage engines you have in your MySQL installation, you can use the query show engines. That will show you all the storage engines. MyIGEM storage engines is very important for web application, not for online transaction processing. For data warehouse, for data storage is excellent, but not for where we need transactions. It's not transaction safe storage engine. It is very fast. So MyIGEM engine is fast and therefore preferred for web and other application environments. Is not transaction safe. You can't have applications which require transactions. You can't use MyIGEM in those scenarios. Maximum key length is 1000 bytes. This can also be changed by changing the source and recompiling it. For the case of a key longer than 250 bytes, a larger key block size than the default of 1025 byte will be used. There is a limit of 232 raised to the power 2, 1.844 into 10 raised to the power 19 rows in the MyIGEM table. Maximum number of indexes per MyIGEM table is 64 and maximum number of column per index is 16. 16 columns can participate in an index. MyIGEM tables allow table level locking only. We will discuss locking and transactions in a dedicated session number 10. The foreign key constraints cannot be defined. MyIGEM does not support foreign keys. MyIGEM is the only storage engine that supports full text search, where you have a column which stored a long chunk of text and you want to search within that text. Searching on the data within a column is what is known as full text search, and MyIGEM is the only storage engine that supports it. It also supports one auto increment column per table. All numeric key values are stored with a high byte first to permit better index compression. The concept of high byte and low byte is depending on endian, little endian, big endian. So the big endian is high byte first, little endian low byte first. You can search on Google and find out what is high byte, what is low byte. That is little endian and big endian. Earlier I used to think it is Indian, I thought, but no, it is END, that is ending with, endian. So I used to always laugh at it. I always think that it is Indian and there's a typo, it should be I. Just replace I, it becomes my country. So it is not that case. It is actually endian. All data values are stored with a low byte first. This makes the data machine and operating system independent. On disk, MyIGEM represent each MyIGEM table using the file with a table name and have an extension to indicate the file type. The data file has MYD extension, index file has extension MYI extension, table definitions are stored into MySQL data dictionary. MyIGEM table can be used to set up merge, that is merge MyIGEM tables. MyIGEM tables can be converted into fast compressed read-only tables to save space. There is a new concept in MySQL 8 which was not there in MySQL 7, that is serialized dictionary information, that is SDI. Whenever you create any table with MyIGEM, it will create a corresponding SDI table, SDI file. The file will have same name as table name with some random suffix. So it will create a file name with that name, and this file is store the JSON data. Data dictionary is store the data, SDI data in SDI files that are created for a given table in tables database directory. This is in compact JSON format. So that means additional files are created. But what about InnoDB? The InnoDB file store this SDI data in table space only. So you will not find such SDI files for InnoDB. You will find these files only for MyIGEM tables. Query performance is very fast for retrievals. Multiple queries can read the same table simultaneously. You can influence the scheduling mechanism for queries that use MyIGEM tables using low priority or high priority query modifier. You can specify that a MyIGEM table must be able to hold at least a certain number of rows. Means you can give that I want to hold these many rows in my table if you know that in advance. What is the advantage? Advantage is MySQL MyIGEM will adjust the table's internal row pointer accordingly. So you will get a performance benefit if you tell this in advance. Otherwise you have to use, there are ways otherwise you have to use some table maintenance query, table maintenance statements to get this job done. MyIGEM locking occurs at the table level. Deadlock cannot occur with the table level locking, because this, when you are locking the entire table, so nobody else is allowed to use the table when it is locked, which can occur in row level locking, that is InnoDB. MyIGEM supports concurrent inserts. If a table has no free blocks in the middle of the data file due to deletion or updation of dynamic row length records, this free block can come due to deletion or updation of records when the row format is dynamic. In that situation, you can insert new rows into it at the same time that other threads are reading from the table. A free block can occur as a result of deleting rows or update of a dynamic length row record with more data than its current content. When all free blocks are used up, that is filled in, future inserts become concurrent again. So, however, you can remove the holes by using optimized table to defragment the table. For applications that use MyIGEM table, you can change the priority of statement that retrieve or modify the data. By default, server schedules queries for execution as write request take priority over the read request, and the server tries to perform write request in order it receives them. However, if the table is being read from when a write request arrives, the write request cannot be processed until all current readers have finished. When working with MyIGEM tables, keep in mind that we have scheduling modifiers. Scheduling modifiers are available to change the priority of request. Like we have low priority scheduling request modifier. Low priority means it may be applied to statements that update tables, that is insert, delete, replace or update. A low priority write request waits not only until all current readers have finished, but for any pending read request that arise while the write request itself was waiting, in fact, not going on, was waiting. High priority may be used with select statement to move it ahead of updates and ahead of other select statement that do not use high priority modifier. Then third modifier is a delayed. It may be used with inserts and replace. The server buffers the rows in memory and insert them when the table is not being used. Delayed inserts increase efficiency because they are done in batches rather than individually. Using delays allowed the client to proceed immediately after issuing the insert statement rather than waiting until it completes. MyIGEM row storage formats. Three storage formats are allowed: fixed row, dynamic row and compressed. Fixed row format. All rows have same size. Rows are stored within table at position that are multiples of the row size. So if this is the size of one row, all the table will have the same size. All the rows have the same size, exactly same size. Whether you are storing a 3-character name like let's say J, if you are storing J, or whether you are storing complete name Ram, Nivas, Sangwan. So it uses the same. So this will be padded to occupy the entire fixed size, that is fixed row. So therefore it is space inefficient. You will be wasting a lot of space, but however you will get better performance. So there is a trade-off involved here. You want performance, you can use fixed row format, because the rows are of the same size but take more space. Dynamic row format, row takes varying amount of space, but then that will increase the fragmentation. One row is this much of size, another row is bigger size, another row is this much of size, one next row is of this much size. Now what happens when you try to delete a row? Suppose you delete this row, and there's a row which is a very big size. So this row will be stored partially, it will be stored here, partially it will be stored here, and partially it will be stored somewhere else. So there will be a fragmentation of the records in that situation. So that is the reason rows cannot be looked up efficiently. So dynamic rows table usually take less space because rows are not padded to a fixed size. Fragmentation can occur more easily than fixed row tables. Then third is the compressed format. Tables are packed to save space, storage is optimized for quick retrieval, and tables are read-only. They are not for modifiable. The merge engine. A merge table is a collection of identically structured MyIGM tables, as if you have copied one table, entire structure. Logically, a query on merge table act as a query on all the MyIGM tables of which it consists. The use case is because there is a limitation how many rows we can have in a MyIGM table. If you want to store more than the limit specified, this is the alternative. So what do? You create two MyIGM tables and then create a merge table out of it. So merge table will nothing but a simple text file which will link both the tables, and any query on merge table will be performed on all the underlying tables of that merge engine. A merge table creates a logical entity that can exceed the maximum MyIGM table size. That's what I was trying to explain. MySQL manages contention between queries for merge table access using table level locking. A merge table is portable because the .mrg file is a text file, and this MyIGM table that it names are also portable. Merge engine supports select, delete, update, and insert statements. For inserts, create table statements can specify whether the record should be inserted into the first table or last table, or they should be disallowed. But there is a disadvantage also, because it increases the file descriptors. Any operating system has a limit how many files can remain open in the memory. As the number of tables grows, it will increase that number. So increased number of file descriptors are required because each underlying table must be opened along with the merge table. So every merge table will have 3 table or 4 table, or how many tables are participating in that merge engine. All those tables must be open. This is example with the screenshot. Create table T1, A integer not null auto increment primary key, message text varchar engine MyIGM. Then I created another table T2, same structure, inserting some records, and now creating a table total of type merge. Engine is merge, union of T1 and T2, insert method is last table. So when I tried this describe total, I get the same field message type, and then when I select star, it was actually executed from both the tables. This is underlying tables. Other storage engines. The archive storage engine provide an efficient way to store large amount of data when you don't need indexes and need to minimize the amount of disk space used. This engine supports only select and insert operations. Select scans the entire table and inserts perform compressed inserts. So only for this can be used. So the use case for this is only and only one, and that is data warehouse, data for historical purpose. There is a storage engine called CSV. The CSV storage engine stores records as text in well-known comma separated value CSV format. It does not support indexing. Then we have a storage engine called example. The example storage engine does nothing actually except create tables. In fact, that tables also cannot be used to store any data. You can't even store any rows in example table, although this is by the design. Then what is the purpose? Purpose, if you are a developer, then you should know how to get started with writing a storage engine in MySQL. You have starting code available for you. The purpose of this engine is to provide simple example code in MySQL source to demonstrate how to get started writing a new storage engine. If you want to you have a specific need, you want to write your own storage engine, you can write that. Remember, storage engine is the characteristic of only MySQL or MariaDB or Percona for that matter. It is not used, not available any other RDBMS. No other RDBMS gives you that level of flexibility for storing the data the way you want the data to be stored. That's all for this session 6, MariaDB MySQL. Thank you so much.